Hello.
Leandra.
Yes, Leandra. Nice to meet you, Mr. Washington.
Kevin, please.
Kevin. All right.
Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well.
Good. Tell me a little bit about Leandra. How you got into the Y, schools you went to, where you grew up. That's where we like to start the conversation.
I actually was born in the city, went to Virginia State University, graduated with my bachelor's in biology, thought that I wanted to be a doctor, and halfway through I was like, no, this isn't what I want to do. One of my girlfriends was an assistant director for childcare in the Eastern Delaware County Y. I went and got part-time job there and was in the childcare center. And then I came over to Philadelphia and vicinity and became a group supervisor.
And now you're at?
I actually work with teens.
Okay.
Going from child care center to working with teens in camp wasn't that big of a jump, but it was very different where I could stretch myself a little more. Mm-hmm. So how did you come to the Y?
This Y, the Christian Street Y, got me engaged at the age of 10 when I was in an after-school program called the Grade Y, which is an acronym for Grade School at the Y. It helped provide the kind of work that you're doing now for me in terms of a safe place to come, caring adults, service around leadership, got me engaged in sports. So it really was what got me involved in the Y. And I went to Temple University, and after I left Temple, the person who got me involved in the Y at the age of 10, Bill Morton, I'm walking home one day, and he stopped me and he said, Kevin, I need to see you. I want you to come by the Y. And when I went by there, he offered me the job to be the youth director at that YMCA right down the street that I grew up in. And I accepted it. That was September 24th, 1978. It was a job, but it was a passion too. I mean, I really enjoyed the opportunity to provide great programs, but also connections with the young folks in this community. And I recognize how important having caring adults in young kids' lives, other than their parents, is such a key to their development. And I know that we as an organization will continue to do that and do it in a way that will continue to carry the banner for who we are. The whole neighborhood has changed drastically. And so has the membership of the Y. At one point, it was probably 100% people of color. As you can see, it opened in 1914, but it was actually founded in 1889 by a guy named William Still. This was the place where all of Black royalty in the city of Philadelphia was part of the board or engaged in its development.
Let's talk about where we see you 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now.
I would like to actually continue to work with our teens, our early teens, late teens, and continue to give them that access that they need in order to reach that next point in their life, going to school or getting that job, helping them to be the best selves. I find joy in doing that. What advice would you give to young people, young professionals in the YMCA who look like me, don't look like me?
I know that there's a propensity for some of our young folks to want to get the next job. They're thinking about the next job all the time. But what I always say is, one, make sure that you are doing your current job well, first and foremost. Two, don't be afraid to move. There are great opportunities in all parts of this country or the world if you choose to, because you'd be surprised what you can learn and who you get to meet and how that grows and grows and grows. And also, I would say the other skill set, your ability to build a diverse, inclusive team. I think anyone who wants to be successful in any arena needs to embed themselves in the work around diversity, inclusion, and equity. This is the gym that replaced the old gym for the Christian Street Y. The old gym was probably about this size only, and we had a ball. We played a lot of basketball in here. It brings back so many memories coming in here, playing Monday, Wednesday nights. So many folks. In fact, I see some of them still come to the Y. So a couple of guys just now that have been part of that history in this organization.
So I know you've been at the Y 12 years now.
Right.
And you probably got some great memories.
I do.
So think about one or two of them that really stand out for you
being introduced to civic engagement, to witness that and actually bring students who aren't usually at these events, students of color, seeing kids who would ordinarily be kind of standoffish and sit in the background and see them assert themselves and fight for something. And that was an amazing thing for me to see. Did you ever think that you would go from being, I heard you were a counselor, that was your first job at the Y. Would you ever think that you would go from being a counselor to being the CEO of the YUSA?
In a word, no. No, but you know what? The question that I always asked myself was my success or any success that I had directly related to my knowledge of the community and all the people that I had the opportunity to grow up with and know because of my connections, or was it because of the skill sets that I learned from the Y? So the transformation for me was when I left Philly to go to Chicago to work. It really, because I didn't know anybody in Chicago. But it was then that I realized that it was the skill sets that I had been using in the Y. It wasn't just because I knew people, it was the skill sets, and that was convinced me. And when I was a chief operating officer in Chicago, I wrote down that I really wanted to lead a major YMCA. I wanted to be a CEO of a major YMCA. I would hope that, not because of me, but because of who I am and what I represent, others see that it is possible.